Welcome, horror fans, and thank you for downloading The Horror Show. Sit back while your hosts Sean and Joe take you back in time to review your favorite and not-so-favorite horror movies from yesteryear. With their own twisted comedic view, your host will remind you why you loved or hated those classic horror movies and other horror-related events. Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you to The Horror Show.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to The Horror Show, the show that dissects, mutilates, dismembers, and butchers all of your favorite and not so favorite horror movies and other horror-related events. I'm Sean.
I'm Joe.
This week, we are doing a special. It's not very special. It's not special at all.
Not at all.
We're doing Zombeavers, brand new movie.
There's such a build-up to such a calm reveal.
Yeah, it's true. It's Zombeavers. So if you haven't seen Zombeavers, this probably isn't the episode to watch because we're switching up our format a little bit. We're going to watch Zombeavers while we talk. We've seen it. We watched it already, but we're gonna watch it while we talk about it and just see how it goes. It was an idea I totally ripped off from another podcast.
Yeah,
and it's not going to be like Mystery Science Theater, so don't think that, guys.
No.
But we're going to talk about it And honestly, I don't know if there's much to spoil about Zombeavers.
Yeah, I don't know if there's much we'll pick up watching it again either.
Oh no,
it's pretty to the point.
Very to the point. Actually, yeah, this is probably the first movie I don't need to watch a second time to catch everything. But we're excited, so we're gonna start this. We're gonna hit play right now. If you want to follow along, and by the way, if you hear it in the background, whatever, I'm sorry. But this is our first time trying it. So yeah, we're starting it right when you see the Mamaroneck
sure.
truck.
You see a truck.
Yep. And we see our buddies Bill Burr and
John Mayer.
Brand new actor.
John Mayer. First feature film, Zombeavers.
When I was watching this the first time, I was like, this guy looks so damn familiar. And obviously with this cheesy fake mustache and stuff, like, you know it's got to be somebody, like...
Right.
Otherwise, I would have just hired a guy with a handlebar mustache. But not a lot to take in here. But
so Bill Burr and John Mayer are truck drivers, and they're just shooting the shit. And the conversation that they're having is so ridiculous and so funny.
I thought this was... Well, I don't know if I want to say that. When I first watched this, I watched the first 5 minutes to see what I was getting myself into prior to watching the whole thing. And I told Joe, I was like, this movie might be amazing. Like, this movie might be the best movie, like, of the year. Because this scene was so incredibly funny.
Dude, I would watch a full feature length with the two of them just driving a truck and talking to each other.
Joe and Luke. Joseph and Luke, as their work jackets tell us.
Yes.
They are so damn funny.
John Mayer is killing this role. John Mayer needs way more truck driver roles.
Way more truck driver roles. Yeah.
They're talking about things such as shitting and giving handjobs to other guys.
And being gay for a week.
Yeah. Trying it out.
Having a gay relationship.
And enjoying it for that week.
Yeah, but like kind of just like, it was okay.
Well, he says something like...
the sex was brutal.
But it wasn't the dick. It was the gruff or like the whiskers.
Oh, yeah. It was... I don't know. I love that.
And then Bill Burr takes out a flip phone and this is important. This is actually important to the story. He takes out a flip phone and he starts looking at it, and he's the one that's driving. And John Mayer warns him there's a deer in the road, and Bill Burr's like, yeah, I see it. And so casually, John Mayer's like, I don't think you do. And they just plow right into this deer, and this deer, I can't describe, like, disintegrates. It just implodes all over this car. Mayer goes out and checks on it, and then comes back in and says, I don't think it's going to be okay.
Yeah, and
its guts are everywhere.
And by the way, I love that you were saying how important this is to the story, which it does come back later. But really the most important thing, which we haven't mentioned yet, is a tub of toxic.
Yeah, they're carrying toxic waste. Yeah.
Toxic waste falls into a river.
So after he hits the deer, it bounces off the back of the truck, it falls into a river, and then it starts the opening sequence, which is awesome. The music that's playing,
cartoons. It's like it reminded me of like I'm trying to think of a movie.
Reminds me of Trauma.
Trauma, yep.
Just
the music
general.
definitely is Trauma style. The cartoons at the beginning, it's kind of like what's that movie? Honey, I Shrunk the Kids had that cartoon beginning that I loved as a kid, and that's kind of what this has.
And
too.
even the what do you call it? The graphic design of the font is like that too.
Yeah,
like
it's
an
amazing.
80s throwback.
It's amazing. Love it.
Now, this is directed by Jordan Rubin, who, if you listen to How Did This Get Made, he was a guest on that. If you listen to the X-Files files, he walked by while they were recording it once, because I guess he's neighbors with the guy that does X-Files files.
Oh, are you serious?
And he also wrote for The Man Show and Crank Yankers. 2
great shows. The Man Show is incredibly funny.
The Man Show is incredibly funny,
and people don't give it enough credit. I don't.
I agree.
There's some skits on the Man Show that are just.
Nobody was a bigger fan of the Man Show than my dad, because I always had those girls jumping on the trampoline,
which was like my least favorite part of the whole show.
Well, yeah, because we were kids. I mean, but and even my dad would mute it, and he would just watch that.
Even as kids in the 90s, that's so funny. Even as kids in the 90s. Like the paper porn you'd have to hunt out and seek was better than the Man Show. I was like, these are girls in bikinis and skirts.
You don't
sometimes.
appreciate the jiggling as much.
No, as an old man, that's like, yes. So here we are, title Zombeavers.
Oh, I love, so the toxic, during this whole sequence, title sequence, the toxic waste can is floating down the river, and it comes across the beavers. And they couldn't even use the real beavers for this one scene. They're just shitty puppet beavers.
I love the puppet beavers, though. Boy, this movie gets so ridiculous. So ridiculous.
I'm going to ask you now, and then I'm going to ask you again at the end. Did you like this movie?
I don't know. So there's parts of it.
That's how I feel.
There's parts of it I really hated, specifically the CGI later on. All the CGI with the beavers. If you're going to do puppet beavers, do puppet beavers.
Yeah.
If you're going to do CGI beavers, do all CGI beavers. I don't need to see a mix because it's awful.
This is a hard one to like rate personally.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's bad, but it's fun. But then at the end, it's kind of just bad. It's kind of hard to pick apart because they know it's bad. It's just,
but here's the question: did they know it was bad?
Yes.
I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know.
Because when he interrupted the X-Files files, he makes a comment like, "Yeah, I'm making this movie called Zombeavers. It's gonna be terrible."
Well, wait a minute. But John Mayer said it was the best horror movie ever.
John Mayer's an idiot.
That's what Joe informed me, that John Mayer.
John Mayer also told me my body was a wonderland, so he can go fuck himself.
That's true. Same here. My body is not a wonderland. It's awful. It smells and just the worst. So we meet our key ladies in the movie. I don't know their names. Mary,
Zoe,
Mary, Zoe, and I don't know.
The other one.
And the other one. The ugly one. What was it? Strong Bad?
Wait. What was that called?
Teen Girl Squad. Homestar Runner.
Homestar Runner.
And he did Teen Girl Squad. Teen Girl Squad was these girls. The last one was always the ugly one. It was What's Her Face.
Wow.
There's 3 girls. It was What's Her Face. Oh God, they're looking at dick pics right now.
Yeah. So these we're talking about Homestar Runner, and there's dicks being flashed on the screen. These girls, I kind of liked that they had them like raunchy and like talking about realistic things.
So I'm with you to a point, and then much like this, the rest of this movie, they're so close to like a home run almost, and then they just do stuff that just pisses me off. These girls are pretty good actresses, actually. They're pretty great. They are crude, but one of them is just over the top.
Over the top.
The brunette.
Yeah.
I don't know what her
Zoe.
That's Zoe.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. She got tattoos all over her body.
Yeah,
and
she's looking at
she
dick
looks like a
pics,
porn
she's
star.
talking about sex.
And she's the only one that's topless, so I just safe to assume.
Yeah.
That's rude, but so we meet them. They're at a gas station. One of them thinks her boyfriend is cheating on her. And they're going to a retreat. They're going to a family friend's house or her family's house out in the woods to get away from the boys and have a girls' night. But it was originally intended to be an all-out sex fest.
Yeah.
From what we told. And then we meet, we see our first beaver encounter, our first Zombeaver encounter. A boy who is no more than 15 wearing a hat that says number one dad. Cracked me up. That cracked me up so bad. And he's fishing, and one of the what you would assume is a Zombeaver in the grass.
He's saying Zombeavers.
It's annoying. It's really annoying. One of the Zombeavers attacks him, and that's all you see. So that's our first hint that these beavers have gone bad.
What was the movie that we reviewed? I think it was a couple months ago that also started with girls going on a retreat.
Oh, Mother's Day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Great movie. This is not Mother's Day.
No,
Fun fact.
It is definitely not. It takes place in Indiana.
Great.
Just throwing that out.
State I don't want to ever be. No offense to all our friends in Indiana, but no interest in Indiana.
Yeah, I think Evil Dana's from Indiana. Sorry, Evil Dana.
Oh, Dana, I'm so sorry. But seriously, don't have any interest in going out there. So sorry. Maybe for some Pacers games.
Sure.
See Andrew. I mean, if the tickets are free.
Sure.
And the airfare's paid for. But our girls get to the house and it's just really exposition at this point. We're just learning about these girls. There's Mary, who appears to be sort of the prude, I guess, of the group.
Definitely.
Sort of.
She's the one that had her boyfriend.
Yep. We have what's her face, the blonde, who will be what's her face until I hear her name again, which I don't think I will. And Zoe, who is just out of her mind.
Wait, the blonde's not Mary?
No, Mary's brown hair. Yeah, it's a problem. I have my laptop right next to me. I could look up the name, but I'm not going. But these girls, they finally make it to the house and they meet their neighbor. And Zoe just says
potty mouth Zoe.
Inappropriate stuff. Zoe is wearing, by the way, what I don't even know what I call that. I guess it's a sweater, but it looks like chainmail, so you can see right through it. And underneath that is a see-through bra.
Yeah.
It's see-through. You can't really tell, but it's see-through.
Nice.
Trust me.
All right. I will.
And so these girls are meeting the neighbor for the first time, and Zoe's just being crude, and you think she's putting out the neighbor, and the neighbor says...
The neighbor's calling her daughter fucking whore.
She goes, oh yeah, my daughter's a bitch too, which is really weird.
I laughed at that. Got a good heart.
Well, no, it's really funny, but it's really weird that she starts out with bitch, which is just an insult, and then proceeds to explain that she's actually a whore.
Yeah.
But like the bitch thing is just like, that's strong feelings, I guess. But I like the part where she says, I don't even know what sex some of the people are she brings home. That's good. That's awesome. And the girls have made it to camp, thank goodness. But yeah, these girls, I took like stuff like that. We see our main character giving devil horns because she said, "Where's the bathroom?" The girl says, "Back there," and the girl gives her devil horns. Yeah. What?
Stupid.
What? Do you know what that is? Like, what? Do you know what hand signs are, or do you just showing fingers? It's just very strange, very very strange. But these girls, I just had issues with them. At points, they were so realistic, and they were all really good actresses, I thought. And then it would just be super over the top dialogue.
I think you're being very generous calling them a really good actress. Like I would call Meryl Streep a really good actress.
Well, I'd call Meryl Streep. Well, I guess you're right. Okay. They are good for the genre. Let me put it that way. For Zombeavers.
Okay.
Like
so
this is
good
like
for Zombeavers.
This is miles ahead of sci-fi movie acting. Except the guys. The guys are awful. The girls, though.
The guys are awful.
The guys are
guys in
awful
this movie
actors
are
and
terrible.
awful people. If I were a guy, I would not have taken that role. I would have been like, everyone's going to hate me after this. That was part of the stuff I didn't like. A lot of this dialogue is so insanely sexist and rude and just awful. These people are pretty awful. Yeah. Zoe leads the pack, though, with the awfulness and the beaver jokes in it.
I know.
How many beaver jokes did we have to sit through?
A lot, apparently.
So, and they finally like mention, like they're like, okay, stop, enough with the beaver jokes. And somebody goes like, why did the beaver cross the road? And that's like the end of the scene. That's later on. But it was bad. It was too there. This movie was lousy with beaver vagina jokes, and that was terrible. They were terrible. Fun fact, guys. Me, your host, Sean, has never used the term beaver to describe a vagina.
I have.
Oh,
throwing it out there.
Good for you. It's ridiculous. And we get Zoe topless.
Yeah,
now.
so they're going swimming and only Zoe is topless, which I feel it would be like, I mean, I'm not a girl, but if I was the only one topless amongst my friends, I would feel super weird.
That's what I was thinking.
It'd be like
too,
me
but that
sitting
might be
here right now with my balls just hanging out. Just
my,
talking to you.
Like, I don't know if... See, that's sexist too. What I was about to say. I was like, maybe that's a guy thing, but I was like, no girls hang out around. No girls just walk around topless. I don't think with their pals.
Maybe they change in front of each other.
This is just
not like leisurely hang out.
And I wanted to be like, maybe they did this to be like, a standard horror movie. Like maybe this is making fun of the trope.
That someone has to be naked.
Yeah, but then I don't think it is.
Yeah, because
it's not played hard if it is. They're not like looking into the camera and like being like, get it?
Right.
But I don't know.
And plus, normally in horror movies, the girls who get naked and are promiscuous are goners.
Oh, yeah.
And this is not the case in this movie.
No.
Spoiler
alert. So hope you watch this, guys. I'm honestly about to bail on watching this live while we discuss this movie because this exposition, I didn't realize how much exposition was in this. We're getting nowhere here. These girls are just frolicking in the water and I have nothing to say.
I could not agree more.
I have nothing to say.
This.
We're blowing through this. All right, guys, we're bailing on this idea, but it was fun while it lasted. Maybe for TV shows we could do that.
Sure.
Like an Are You Afraid of the Dark and stuff. These movies are too long. They're too long. And I don't.
I'll keep it on pause if we want to fast forward to a scene. Or
That's not a bad idea. So I don't have any notes, so we're going to have to wing this.
We're going to wing it. All right. So they're skinny dipping and
they run into Hunter.
They do run into a hunter.
Did you take notes?
His name, I did.
Good for you.
His name is
finally, Joe's taking notes, and then I have not. So I was really counting on watching this and remembering it as I went along. But I paid very good
before
attention.
they find the hunter, they find a beaver dam. It has like the shittiest looking toxic waste of it.
It was like silly string.
Yeah,
it was awful.
It's such a weird color green too.
And that dialogue they have in that scene is the pits. That maybe I do take back the good acting, but that's like the script. They're arguing about beaver piss.
I don't want to say it, but I thought it was terrible acting on all parts. But I was gonna let it ride.
Really?
I did. I really did.
Oh man, maybe I need to stop watching horror movies.
Yeah.
I think all I've watched is horror movies.
Go back and watch
like
Citizen Kane, and then
or
you should spread it out.
Or like anything. Or like a Disney Pixar movie. But yeah, so yeah, they're
see the toxic waste, and then they see a huge ass bear. I mean, it's huge, and it's clearly
they're relatively calm too about.
I mean, it wasn't just me. Fuck, I kind of want to fast forward to it. It seemed like that bear was nowhere near them, and like while they were filming that, it's like spliced so poorly. Like you see the bear, and then you see them, and you see the bear.
Yeah, it was very bad. It was very bad. Clearly not filmed the same time.
Yeah.
Maybe the same area, but they were like, okay, let's get this one bear scene in and reuse it later.
Yeah, and reuse it later. Yes.
Because I'm pretty sure it's the same scene.
Yeah.
They just like edit it.
With the big stupid teeth. So they get saved from the bear by a hunter named Smith, spelled with a Y. I don't know why.
It's like Smythe.
Wait, that's how you spelled it?
I think so. I think I saw it on
Is it
IMDb.
E at the end?
I think so.
What a jerk.
complete idiot. And he's a real weirdo too. But the thing is, so normally in a horror movie, you have these characters that show up. It's always a guy. It's always an old guy. He shows up and says things like, "Oh, we haven't seen beautiful girls around these parts in quite some time."
Yeah, he was a total
and
creep.
it's to make you be like, "Oh, this guy's gonna fucking kill him."
Right.
The movie's called Zombeavers. I'm not worried about this guy whatsoever. I'm not worried about him.
And you've already seen the beaver dam with the toxic waste.
Right. And we've already seen a beaver kill somebody.
Right.
So it's ridiculous.
Yeah, he's just creepy.
It's so pointless. He's just creepy for the sake of being a sexist creep.
Yeah.
And like,
yeah,
but then telling him to cover up.
Yeah.
It made no sense.
There's a topless girl, and he's like, I was talking to all of you. Well, why?
Yeah, he says, put on your clothes. And the girl's like, they try to make an excuse for Zoe, who's got no top on. So I'm talking to all of you. I can see her stomachs.
And after he tells him to cover up, they're like, we're looking for beavers or whatever. And he's like, ain't we all? So he's being perverted and being like conservative. Yeah,
and then saying there's families around. Yeah. Dude, no. And I also had, you know what I also had a problem with? I'm going to start tearing this apart, which I don't actually feel this way, but there's just some things that annoyed me. They're like really trying to shoehorn this beaver idea. And these girls go out to this cabin and they're like laying out blankets like they're going to the beach, but they're on a shitty, dirty lake.
Yeah.
Filthy, animal infested lake.
Right.
Get the fuck out. No one's going to lay in the mud. That's what it was. I mean, it's a lake. It's not a beach. There's no sand. There's no bank. It's just a hole filled with dirty water.
A solid point.
Just pisses me off. And they're all like out there in their bikinis and glasses, and they're like, I can't wait to relax.
Yeah, I mean,
but then again, we hate the woods.
Dude, I hate the woods.
So this
being in the woods with Zombeavers is probably my worst nightmare.
That would actually make the woods kind of fun for me.
No. Fine.
If I had something going on.
Whatever.
Instead of just sitting there pretending like sitting around a fire is fun.
Sitting around a fire is not fun.
No.
Talking is not fun.
Even though we do it for 2 hours.
Doing things is not fun.
And being with friends is not fun either.
Yeah,
I don't like
sucks.
that either.
All sucks.
It all sucks. I'd rather just be alone in my basement. So Smith is gone.
They go back to the cabin and they play Would You Rather, which is a classic camping game, I think, or just a drinking game. I liked their Would You Rather questions.
Their Would You Rather questions was good, and the first one wasn't bad. I forget what the first one was, but they were like, "That's lame." Yeah. It wasn't bad though at all. And then the second question was
it was actually good. I didn't write
the first
it down.
one.
Yeah.
I know. I don't know what it was, but it was
like, would you rather have your father kill your mother, or would you rather be raped by your father while your mom watches?
Yeah, you watched your dad kill your mom, or would you rather your dad rape you while your mom watches?
Yes.
And they ask our leading lady that, and she says, get raped by her dad.
That is the correct answer.
I think I agree with them when they say there is no right. You say no.
The game is Would You Rather, and you have to give an answer. That's a total cop-out. No, you don't say no.
I don't want to be raped, but I also don't want to see my mom die.
Yeah, but you don't want your mom to die. Nobody dies.
I'm pretty selfish.
I would.
My life is ruined. My dad raped me and my mom watched. My mom's not going to be thrilled about that either.
It is a tough question, but she chose the right answer.
I bet if you ask your mom...
I'm not asking my mom any Would You Rather
I bet
questions.
you if you asked your mom, would you rather die? Would you ask your... I'm going to ask my mom, would you rather die or would you rather watch dad rape me? Your mom would say, I'd rather be dead.
Oh my God. Please don't ask your mom that.
But it's true. It's true. My mom would rather be dead than watch my dad rape me.
Yeah, but the question wasn't what would your mom rather do? It was what would you rather do?
No, but I'm saying that's why you'd put your mom out of her misery. So
yeah, no.
to watch you get raped. That would you rather. Okay, and then the worst part about that would you rather is she answers that and they're like, oh, you're sick. Which again, yeah, it's would you rather. So what did you expect her to do?
Right.
And then one of them goes, but your dad's hot.
Yeah.
And the girl they say that to, who's talking about her dad, kind of gives like a, yeah, like look. And I'm like, what the fuck? No, that's when you say, shut the fuck. Stop talking about my dad. Stop talking about my dad that way. That's fucking disgusting. Yeah. I think he is.
Would you rather be eaten by Zombeavers or have sex with the Bigfoot from Willow Creek?
Oh, that's a tough one. I think, would I die from the Bigfoot sex?
I don't know.
Wait, why was
What
Bigfoot?
if she's on top?
Wait, guys, spoiler
Then
alert
yes,
for
you
Willow
would.
Creek. Spoiler for Willow Creek for like 2 seconds. You just skip forward 10 seconds. Why was Bigfoot a woman? Can we talk about that
A
again?
large one.
We should probably just talk about that movie and rip it to shreds so everybody hates us because apparently everyone loves
Everyone
that
loves
movie.
those. Dude, I was looking up Zombeavers just like to see if I could find any like obscure facts or whatever. And so I came across a site that hated Zombeavers, and then there was a link that was like Willow Creek is like the Blair Witch done right or something like that. I was like, what?
That is awful. Awful. That movie was garbage. Straight up horrible garbage.
I hated it as well.
Oh my God. Anyway, let's get back to Zombeavers before this episode is 3 hours long talking about Willow Creek. Talking about our complaints with Willow Creek.
So they play the Would You Rather game, and then in classic Cabin in the Woods movies, they hear noises coming from outside.
Yep.
They go to investigate.
I like the pace of this movie.
Sure. I like the beginning pace. I thought it kind of fell off at the end.
I guess so. Because,
And that's weird because that's when most of the action happened. But
Yeah.
towards the end, I was just like...
Well, it's kind of because they kept doing the same thing at the end. It was
Yeah.
like, yeah, let's go. And then they left. And then they came back and they're like, okay, we got to go.
Yeah, I don't
And
know
was like,
why.
well, you
It's
guys
like-
were halfway fucking gone.
they blew their load too early or something.
It was weird. It was very strange. But so where are we now? We're back at the lodge? Or
They're
no?
at the lodge. They heard the noises. They're investigating. Potty Mouth Zoe goes to see what the noises are. She's cracking jokes the whole time, making the other girls uneasy. She disappears, and surprise, it's the boys.
Oh, yeah. And these guys are the pits. They're dressed like assholes, and they are behaving like the biggest
I'm no
assholes.
prize, you know.
No,
but
neither
I think
am I.
these guys are ugly as shit. Like I was like, why are these the love interest?
All right. I don't find Zoe attractive. I can see that she is an attractive girl. I think she looks like dirty brown water trash, but she's an attractive girl. Her boyfriend in this is the most hideous fucking dude.
He looks like he could be the son of Jim Brewer.
Yes, Jim Brewer and like I don't even know. Jim Brewer and like Andre the Giant. If they had a disgusting, horrifying looking baby, this is this guy. He is so hideous, and he has a personality to boot that is equally as bad. This guy.
Dude, his comments are so like everything he says is so stupid that to the point where I couldn't help but laugh but not like because I thought it was funny, because I was like, I can't believe this guy is still making these stupid comments.
Yeah. Yes, 100%, 100%. And there's outtakes at the end,
I'm aware.
and he's in a bunch of them, and I just they weren't funny, and I couldn't believe that the line that they left in was better than anything else, because the jokes were so awful and they were cracking themselves up.
I know.
He was dying at these jokes, and the joke was like him trying to say like sucking and fucking. That we're just sucking and fucking, and it's just like we're sucking and fucking. Him and Zoe are dying. Oh my God, you're right. This is amateur hour. What are we doing? These actors are terrible. John Mayer was probably like, I got to get out of this.
John Mayer was and Bill Burr were the best actors in this entire
100%.
movie. So they meet the guys. The boyfriend who was caught cheating is complaining to the girl that he hasn't had sex in 36 hours and his dick fell asleep. Like when your foot falls asleep.
Another stupid joke. It was ridiculous. There's one guy that looks like Pacey from Dawson's Creek. Looks just like him. And then there's, I don't know. They're all dressed terribly too. They all went to Hot Topic and just picked out a couple.
I'm looking at my
items.
notes right here, and I wrote down these girls are way out of these guys' leagues.
100%. It
Way
makes
out.
no sense. Why couldn't they have just hired good-looking guys? Hire models. The acting wouldn't have been that much.
Yeah, I mean, it has to be a budget thing. Probably just saw these guys and offered them like some Twinkies and a freshly rolled joint. Like,
Weed.
sold.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, these guys are the pits, and the boyfriend who has cheated on our main character, he's awful. He is awful. I mean, even worse when we find out later, but I mean, he's awful to begin with.
You mean as a character, like a human being?
Yeah, as a character, human being. I mean, he's borderline getting physical with this girl because he's not getting sex.
Yeah,
and
because he
cheated on her.
Yeah.
And he like corners her, and she says, "I'll scream." He says, "Join the club," because everyone else is having sex and screaming. And I'm like, that is not endearing.
Yeah.
I want this guy dead
Then
as
she
fast
gets him
as
right in the
possible.
nuts.
Oh, she nails him right in the fucking nuts. And this is when we are. I think we're introduced to the Zombeavers.
Finally introduced to the first scene of the Zombeaver.
And I love that scene.
The girl goes up to the shower.
She's in the bathroom getting all ready, and she opens the she hears a bang in the shower, and she thinks it's her ex-boyfriend.
Who somehow got
How is
in the
that
shower.
possible?
Yeah.
Who somehow got in the bathroom and got in the shower without her knowing. And she can't see his silhouette. Because the beaver is in the tub, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
There's not, whatever. But I love this scene. The beaver was so fun. She pulls the shade back, and the beaver
is
just
so
jumps up.
stupid looking. It's the stupidest looking thing I've ever seen.
Jim Henson would cry. Jim Henson would cry if he saw this puppet. This puppet is garbage. Put together in like home ec class. It is so bad, but I love that scene. And I died laughing, which I guess isn't the proper response. But I just started laughing. My wife was like, this is terrible.
I made note of every time I laughed out loud. and that was one of them.
And my wife and I were watching it, and she said, this is awful. And I was like, no, you're wrong. That scene was gold. That scene was perfect. I love that scene. But yeah, so our
she
main girl
runs downstairs,
she jets out,
screaming,
telling
crying.
everyone there's a beaver in the bathroom.
Dude, and then that Jim Brewer look-alike stoner dude drops the line, "Jen, you're a really ugly crier," and I laughed so hard at that.
And it was so uncalled for. And oh man, I hate when people. I just hate cheap jokes like that. It's been done. Bridesmaids, I think, made it popular.
Jen, you're a really ugly crier.
And then he just busts it out of nowhere. It adds nothing to it except that you hate that
Except
guy
that
more.
he's a dick.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if they were trying to make
It could be because
endearing.
he kind of got the raw deal in this movie.
No, he didn't.
His fucking foot fell off.
He deserves it.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see. I thought you were saying like we should feel bad for this guy.
No, not at all.
Yes. Okay, I'm with you then. Okay. Yeah. No, he totally got what he deserved.
Yeah, he got the shaft.
Yeah. So yeah, so our girl says, there's a beaver in the bathroom, and for some reason everyone finds this completely unbelievable, despite the beaver dams and beavers everywhere.
Yeah.
But like if somebody,
I mean, if we
You
were
s-
camping and you said you saw a beaver, I'd be like, yeah, probably.
that's
It fucking
fucked up.
was
Yeah.
by a
But
river.
instead everyone's like, all right, Jen, you're a beaver. Is her name Jen?
Yeah, it might be.
I think.
Well, can we just? I'm just gonna look it up.
Yeah, just do it. Yeah, so everyone's mocking our lead and saying, oh yeah, there's a beaver in the bathroom. All right. It's just like, whoa, it's completely believable. It's
completely.
You saw a beaver dam covered in what you thought was beaver piss, so just believe it. Just believe it. So our characters, they go upstairs. It is Jen.
Yeah,
That's weird.
nice.
I do imitate the man, and the voice just came out. It's your beaver, Jen. Awful people. But they go into the bathroom to try and find it. All of them, of course, because that makes sense. They all don't believe her, yet they're all there with weapons.
Yeah.
And excuse me. And Pacey is leading the charge with a bat. Pacey's leading the charge with a bat. Yeah. And a beaver jumps out of the cabinets. A beaver.
By the way, these beavers make the most absurd noises.
Bad noises, and they're also super intelligent.
I'll get to that.
Yeah. And so this beaver has hidden himself in a cabinet, closed the door behind him, and then decided to leap out right as Jim Brewer's son is walking by.
He drops to the fetal position and he's screaming.
Oh,
like
he's
a
screaming
banshee.
like a girl. Yeah, it's so funny. Oh my God. He's got the highest pitched scream. He's losing it. And Pacey just destroys this beaver with a bat.
Yeah.
And I thought we were in for some good stuff after this.
Mm-hmm.
And
We're not.
No.
But
The more I'm thinking about it, the more I don't like this movie.
it's really hard.
But it wasn't bad.
It's a good way to pass the time, I guess.
We're ripping on it. It went by fast. It's a short
But
movie.
my thing is, like I love Thanksgiving because it's so bad,
Yes.
but it's so fun, so fast paced, and like I can't even put my finger on it. Something about this, like if you told me right now, let's watch Thanksgiving, I'd be like, yeah, let's do it. If you're like, let's watch Zombeavers right now, I'd be like, there's a lot of other things I could watch.
And I think part of it's the quality. I think movie like Thanksgiving embraced that they didn't have the money,
No, they did not.
that it was going to be campy, and they kind of embraced all that. And
Wait,
this
have you
one-
seen Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you didn't see it.
No, I've seen it.
Oh, damn.
I love Thanksgiving.
That's the best.
Yeah. It's awesome. It just came back on Hulu.
Oh, it did?
Yeah.
Tina's
It's been
never-
off
My
forever.
fiance's never seen it.
Thanksgiving 1 and 2. I haven't seen 2 yet.
But wait, 2 is called Thanksgiving 3 though, right?
No, there's Thanksgiving 2.
I thought Thanksgiving 2 was called Thanksgiving 3.
I
I'm almost positive.
think it's 2. I think it's 2. Look it
I'll
up.
get on the bottom of this.
Yeah, look that up.
So yeah, the sequel of Thanksgiving is called Thanksgiving 3, not Thanksgiving 2.
I can't believe that. Is that like an homage to like the
Being an
Troll
asshole?
and Zombie 2 and things like that? Because wasn't Zombie 2
Yeah, but Zombie 2, like he wanted it to be a sequel
to Dawn of the Dead?
Dawn of the Dead, so that's why it'd be 2. This just makes no sense.
No, this
Skipping
just
2.
makes no sense. The guy's just an asshole. But that's awesome. I love that. So where are we? We
All right, so they killed the zombie.
Oh yeah, they beat the Zombeaver to death with a fucking bat.
They leave it outside.
Like the blood. They leave it outside, and we see the bag wrestling after they go in, and it's exactly what you'd imagine. Exactly what you'd imagine. Now, have they found the cell phone picture yet? Have they discussed this at this point?
What cell phone picture?
When her boy, she knows her boyfriend's cheating because somebody on Facebook tagged a photo of him with a girl with brunette hair. And she's asking her boyfriend, who is it? Who is it? And he won't tell. He won't tell. Turns out it's Mary.
Right.
And I knew that as soon as I saw the picture. I said it out loud to my wife. I
Did
said,
you?
oh shit, that's Mary.
I didn't care enough to like try and figure out who it was.
I just knew this movie is very on the nose. There's not a whole lot of extra stuff here. Like we meet this hunter out of nowhere and you're like, oh, well, he'll be back to save them. He comes back to save them. That's literally the only time. It's very on the nose. They did not waste. They did not put any red herrings.
I feel like I can't speak for the dude. I feel like he just made this to like not even pay out. He just made it in the vein of like classic cabin in the woods horror.
I think it's even worse than that. I don't think he's even paying homage. I honestly think somebody said, let's make a sci-fi-esque movie and see if it works. Right?
Yeah, I guess.
So the guys and girls, they go down to the beach and we have the start of the nightmare.
Yeah, they're swimming. I don't know. That's basically what they're doing. Swimming.
It's so weird. It's so weird. And we're actually watching it live again. We moved up. But they go out on the raft out there and they're stuck and the beavers are attacking them. They take off Jim Brewer's son's leg. And he's carrying around his foot. Yeah, his foot. Which is really weird because everyone else is getting scratched and bit by these dudes and nothing is like, how did that beaver take off his foot in one clean swipe?
They got those big beaver teeth.
Yeah, but no one else is. It's not happening to anyone.
They know he's an asshole.
And we just see a scene. These are my favorite scenes. So they managed to get off the raft by throwing a dog in the water. And my wife was like, they're not going to kill the dog, are they? And I was like, I don't know. And then 3 beavers bite him and bring him down to the bottom of the ocean.
And the girl runs back to the house to call 911. And the phone lines are cut by the beavers.
The beavers have cut.
And at this point, my fiance goes, and I quote, because I wrote it down, God, this is such a terrible movie.
It is. Yeah, it's very bad. And our lead Jen is battling a beaver in the house, and it's severed. And my wife was like,
How did that happen?
That's what my wife was like, how the fuck did this beaver get cut?
Is
That's
the beaver
supposed to be from the
first
bat.
Okay, all right.
So Pacey severed a beaver in half with a bat. A clean cut, by the way. It's like so clean.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
No, it makes no sense whatsoever. But my favorite scene that we just saw happen is when they're in the house, they all run back in, they lock the door, the one beaver's dead, and they lock the door behind them. And there's just like 6 beavers standing outside the house, just like waiting. like waiting for him to come out. I loved that. I almost wish it was more Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah, I do too.
Like just beavers approaching the house and just like waiting for them.
Moving
like,
really
slow.
Yeah.
They're just like banging on the doors, scratching on the doors. It was great. It was awesome. And our leads are all freaking out at this point. They're all losing it. And we get the reveal that Mary slept with Jen's boyfriend.
Yeah. I guess that's the
And
reveal.
who gives a
Who
shit?
cares?
Who gives a shit?
Jen didn't even care.
No.
I was like, yeah, we got bigger problems.
No. But let's go back to the phone lines being cut for a minute. That was so insane. But like that, it also just makes me think that it is an homage. Because why would they include beavers cutting phone lines? That's got to be a trope, right? Like it's got to be an homage to the trope of the killer.
Yeah, it has to be.
It just doesn't. No one could have thought that and been like, "Yeah, let's roll with that." The beavers know what phones are. The beavers now know what telephones are.
Yeah, they had to do it because it's so over the top.
And they try to like explain some stuff in this movie that they just don't need to explain. Like they're talking about the phone lines being cut later on to the hunter. And it's like, well, he could have thought it was twigs or what?
Yeah, but they have scratch marks all over it. Like whatever. I'm not going to debate why a Zombeaver would cut a phone line.
It's so ridiculous. So we have the beavers. They're basically just causing mass destruction in the house.
You know what I wanted to give props to this movie for is that the gore, like from the beavers when they kill the beavers, it's not bad.
That's great, and that's why I liked the brutal baseball bat scene because they really. I mean, I was excited at that point because I was really thinking it was going to be some gore and some killing and stuff, and it doesn't happen that often.
No, it doesn't.
Not often enough, at least. I mean, whatever. So we got our gang in the house. We got one kid carrying around his foot. The kids don't know what to do. They're talking about driving to try and find help. They drive out there. There's no help. I mean, see, this is when it really, you're right. This is when it really loses steam fast.
And I don't know why, because this is like the climax and like this is where more stuff starts popping up. But at this point, when I was watching it the first time, I was like, I just stopped caring about it.
Because it made no sense. We're watching it right now and they're driving to try to get away. And there is like a tree in the road.
Yeah,
they're like,
the beavers cut it down.
And they're like, we can't do anything at this point. They're out of the car for like 10 minutes arguing and fighting. In that time, y'all could have moved the goddamn tree.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, though. It looks like they could have driven around it.
Oh, yes, you could have.
Like
There's
going up
plenty
onto
of
the
room.
grass.
That's just a hill. That is just a hill. 100%. And this is where it just gets ridiculous. And then they decide after this, he says, Pacey, our main man Pacey, who I did like. He was like the most likable character, honestly.
For sure.
He says, you guys go back to the house and I'll try and run and get help. Why are we backtracking? And then again, later on, they're like, okay, we got to go again. You guys need to make up your fucking mind.
Why are they going back to the house? They just left the house. Go around
He
the
just
fucking
tells
tree.
them, yeah. No, I mean, this is bad. This is just awful.
Dude, he has an axe, right?
Yeah.
Is he going to use that to cut down the tree? Was that the plan? Or is that
No,
to
he
use
gives
to
her
defend
the
himself?
axe.
Oh, okay.
In case they get into
That's
her
right.
car, I guess.
I'm watching it live. I could have just looked at the
You
TV.
could have looked at the screen. He hands it to her and she takes it into the car. But yeah, so what happens?
Dude, the old neighbors,
Oh, God.
they hear the screaming, and the old lady is like, I hear screaming. And the old guy goes, they're probably just scissoring each other. It's Lady Gaga.
That was an awesome line. And I love that scene, period, except they could have easily written something that made more sense there. So he's standing there and he pets his dog. He's in a chair and his dog's sitting next to him. He pets his dog. It cuts away. It cuts away. It cuts back to him and he goes down and pets his dog again, except it's not a dog anymore. It's a beaver. That seriously makes no sense whatsoever. Like, for a variety of reasons. One, you'd hear your dog being eaten by a beaver. And where did the dog go?
Could it have been bit before? Because as we find out, you turn.
No.
It's possible.
No, it's not.
Well-
Here's what. I wrote this in my head.
expert on Zombeavers.
This
but
bothered
I
me
think it's
so
possible.
much. I thought about it for the majority of the movie, and I figured out how they should have written it. Ready? Here's what you do. You say, the dad's sitting in the chair, the old man's sitting in the chair, and he whistles for his dog or something like, hey, Fido, come here, Fido. And you just kind of hear like scratching. And he's not looking because he's talking to his wife and he's petting the dog, thinking he's petting the dog. And that's the beaver. Dog's gone. You don't need it. The beaver's like eating its collar.
And then he looks at the mirror and it says beaver's lick too.
If you don't know what Joe's talking about, that's from, what was that from?
Campfire Tales.
Campfire Tales or any subreddit, horror scary
Urban
story
legend.
subreddit. So we're back at the house now where the cheating boyfriend, Mary, and Jen are all hanging out. They're fighting for their lives against Zombeavers. And the weirdest knife play I've ever seen. A beaver breaks through and sticks its head in, and Mary is stabbing it so lightly,
ferociously.
delicately.
But so
like
rapidly.
so fast.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Not
It
ferocious,
reminded me
rapid.
of the Breaking Bad. Spoilers for Breaking. Oh, not really, because I couldn't even tell you the details. There's like a prison shanking scene. Remember, he orchestrates like all of the gang.
Yes.
And they do a prison shank scene where everyone is stabbing so fast. I was like, oh man, these guys are fucking legit. Like that looks sped up. That's what it reminded me of. But Mary does not have the shanking skills of some cons. So I don't know what that's all
It is
about.
not. It's not forceful, but it is so fast. The beaver probably gets stabbed about 50 times in that 1 minute.
So many times. And then it shows another girl and she's doing the same style of knife. And they're just like, I imagine
It's
that
like fencing.
that would just leave you with like a bunch of little pricks.
Yeah, just-
Like the knife is not going in. They are not sinking this knife in.
They're just annoying the beaver to leave.
They are doing everything they possibly can to not kill these beavers. Pretty much. They're all awful.
Yeah, they are.
Also, how about the reveal when Jen is like, they're not alive? And they're like, what are you saying? They're all kind of like, I don't want to say it. Like, just fucking say it.
Well, didn't
we talk about this?
That is an homage too, because nobody ever says zombies.
Didn't
in
we
zombie
talk about
movies.
this? Did we talk about this recently?
I don't remember having that conversation.
Because no one says the word zombie on TV. Walkers.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing. Like sometimes I think this movie is paying homage, but then like Shaun of the Dead pays homage, and it does it very well.
Correct.
This does not.
Because you need some. If you're going to pay homage, you need some winks. You need some nudges.
Yeah, like fuck. I want to watch Shaun of the Dead right now.
So good.
Because the mother's name is Barbara.
Yeah,
he's like, "Hey, we're coming to get you, Barbara." Hangs up the phone.
But the way they play it makes it an homage, and to be is an homage or an homage?
Yeah, who gives a shit? They know what we're saying.
To be an homage, you have to give credit, right? And if you don't give credit with a wink or an acknowledgement, then you're just stealing.
Biting, yeah.
You're just biting their style. You're not. The credit doesn't need to be thanks, Night of the Living Dead, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. You know what I mean? It just has to be acknowledging that you're playing on that.
And you know what I just thought of as you were saying this? Like, I think the difference between this and Thanksgiving is like
Turkeys and beavers.
That is a huge difference. And a lack of disguises that those Zombeavers are wearing. But, when that turkey
nose.
He's drinking coffee.
Oh my god. Thanksgiving. I can't wait to do that. We got to do that for Thanksgiving. That movie is everything. Things like Jack Frost, Zombeavers.
Sean, I watched Thanksgiving
Should have been.
for the first time twice in a row. It ended, and I started it immediately again.
That's so funny.
Because it's only like an hour. But anyways, the difference is like Thanksgiving, is like somebody like you or I was just like, hey, I want to make this fucking movie, and like it's gonna be terrible because I have no money and I have no experience in the field. I'm just gonna make it like ridiculous.
Yeah.
And like this, they do have experience.
This is a
It's
budget.
just-
There's some experience
Yeah.
there, and like I said, I think this was a studio saying, or some sort of backer saying, I want to get in on the sci-fi movie.
I feel bad ripping it apart because I kind of like that the dude made a movie called Zombeavers about zombie beavers. Like I
He
that.
gave it a shot, but how many times can we say that? Because then it's like,
Giving
first of all,
everyone a pass.
giving everyone a pass for that, because that's what every director says that directs these Sharknadoes and Birdemics and Tiger Shark, and Tiger Shark's a real thing, so that sucks. Horrible example. But like, Sharktopus and things like that. Every director says like, I just wanted to go crazy. Well,
yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
I get it. But you know what? There comes a point where you just need to stop going crazy and just make something that's awesome.
Yeah. Agreed.
You could have done a zombie. You could, and again, okay. Oh, and here's something we haven't touched on. This whole Zombeaver thing. This is where Zombeavers, or this is what I said. Where beavers, and my wife was like, "No, it's like where Zombeavers."
Yeah, it's a mix of both.
It's weird because, as we to find out in this scene, these people are turning into beavers,
But it's because they got bit.
right?
And that's what happens with zombies.
Well, it depends what lore with zombies, because isn't it zombie you have to die? In most of them. You die from your wounds because you're infected, and then you turn into a zombie.
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah, but they say that in this movie. Because when Zoe gets the gun pulled on her, she's like, you have to wait till I turn first.
Yeah, but she's turning before she's dead.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
I am right. And also, they have hit things in the head in this movie, and none of them die.
Yeah, I know.
That's the other weird thing. So I don't understand why he's shooting her at the end. By the way, we are jumping all over
It
the
doesn't
place.
matter.
Let's wrap this movie up. Let's wrap this movie up, and then we could talk about it.
Yeah, we got way off track.
Yeah.
The tree fell down.
Thanks killing is great.
Yeah,
Let's get back
it
on
is.
track.
The tree fell down. They're trying to escape. They defending the zombies from the house. And I'm just gonna jump into it. The girl makes a move. The blonde girl makes a move. Jen makes a move on Mary.
Yes.
After all hell's broken loose,
And
and she's crawling into the bed.
It was so weird. Yeah, and she knows it was so weird, and you're thinking, oh, I guess Jen has a thing for Mary.
Because they did talk about they made out on a tree.
Right. And that was the big cue, I guess.
And that's what I thought was going to happen.
That's what I thought too. And then it turns out Jen is a Zombeaver. A human with buck teeth.
Yeah, and this is why Sean's saying it's like werewolves, because it's almost, well, no, it's not almost like it, but it's kind of like an American Werewolf in London when he's turning because the face is getting longer and the teeth are getting longer and stuff.
But that's about it. Although they get a huge beaver tail too. That was the funniest, most disturbing thing I've ever seen.
I did laugh.
I laughed so hard. And she's doing this. Earlier, we see that the beavers are slapping their tails on the ground, and it's some form of intimidation.
It was so unexpected that it made me laugh.
It made me laugh so hard. And they end up locking Jen in a room, and they go, "What's that noise?" And they hear boom, boom, boom. And it cuts to the room, and Jen is doing a booty drop, but she's got a giant beaver tail and is slapping it against the ground. It is one of the most ridiculous things you'll ever see. The way her movements are so unnatural. She's obviously, because why would you ever do that?
Beaver.
Yeah.
Just beaver tail.
Oh God. And we're at the transformation scene is pretty great.
Yeah.
Her teeth fall out of her head. I'm curious how she kept those giant fake teeth in her head.
Yeah.
Those are huge prosthetics. She would not have been able to talk.
It's so stupid. We're delayed a little bit because we're watching it right now.
Yeah, sorry about that. So it is just insane. It's great though, and I kind of thought, okay, maybe the movie will pick back up again here, and it really doesn't.
No,
Three other people turn into. Well, a lot of people turn into
they all
Zombeavers.
turn.
They all turn into Zombeavers. There's some decent. There's not even decent kill scenes. The boyfriend is just eating this guy, Smith's face.
Yeah, with his big beaver teeth.
The beaver puppets are so great. All they can do is rotate at the neck. They can't. The puppeteers are so bad. The animatronics, they could not afford to move the whole beaver, so the beavers are always stationary, just the neck whipping back and forth, so ridiculous, so ridiculous. But Zoe and
there is a good kill, and it involves a penis. You want to talk about that?
Oh, yes. Yes, and yes. Mary and the man that cheated on Jen, they're in the bathroom and they decide to have sex. Worst idea I've ever heard of in my life, by the way. Worst idea I've ever heard of in my life. They're banging while beavers are straight up in the house attacking them.
Yeah.
This is code red, you're going to die pretty soon.
How do you get hard in that situation?
You don't. You don't. You just don't. And they start having sex, and all of a sudden they hear a noise, and Jen bursts out from the floor and bites his dick off.
Yeah, he does.
You see some
It's
flesh.
like mutilated, dude. It's mangled.
It is mangled, and it is awesome. And my wife was she shut down at that point. She was like, this is god awful. God awful. And that scene, I think that's the best kill scene, though, in the movie.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
For sure. And
I do want. I mean, Zoe's the lone survivor here. Everyone else has turned or been killed or whatever. She's escaping, and we see the bear from the beginning. Except the bear has huge beaver
bear's
teeth.
a beaver now. The bear's a fucking beaver. Do we see the dog being a beaver too, or no? I forget.
I don't remember. I was too
Everyone's
busy
a
laughing at
goddamn
the bear.
beaver.
I was too busy
Everyone's a
laughing at the
goddamn
bear.
beaver. I'm pretty sure the dog's a beaver also. I can't be sure. But Mary and our girl Zoe end up getting out of there. And again, I called the ending. I said, Mary is turned, because when she's in the bathroom, the guy goes, "What's that?" And she says, just ignore it.
Yeah.
And let's have sex. It's ridiculous. And so I knew Mary was going to be the one that turned, but they kind of accuse each other. Oh my God, the bear beaver. It's so stupid. So dumb. Yeah, and Zoe and Mary have this confrontation. Mary's got a gun in her face, and she says, "I'm going to kill you before you turn, because I know you're hurt." And Zoe's saying, "No, I just fell off I just jumped out of a window.
Been through a lot of shit.
Yeah, which, you'd think you'd believe, I guess.
So she's going to shoot her, and then out of nowhere,
Mary turns into Zombeaver.
She gets shot.
She gets an axe to the head.
Sorry.
It was awesome. And that's the end. Except the real end.
So Zoe is the survivor.
So
she's on the
awesome.
street. And then you get back to Bill Burr and John Mayer.
Oh, my God.
We're talking about bullshit again. Bill Burr takes out his phone again, and John Mayer's like, "There's a girl on the road." He's like, yeah, I see her. And he's like, "I don't think you do." And then he plows right.
He doesn't even say that. I was expecting him to say
Oh, you
that.
didn't say that time?
The second time he says, "I trust you."
Okay, all right.
Which is so ridiculous based on the first time
just
he
killed
said
a deer.
that. Yeah. Ran over a deer, almost killing them.
And just destroys
Zoe.
Zoe.
It is awesome. Great ending to a movie. Again,
Also, I'm going to say this right now. I don't know if her name was Zoe or Zoe. I've been calling her Zoe, and I don't really care enough to.
I don't care
correct
either.
myself, so.
And so overall, I think I enjoyed it. It's bad. It's not hard to watch.
No, it's not hard to watch. Like I said before, the difference is if like somebody asked me to watch Troll 2 or Thanksgiving, like, "Hey, you want to come over and watch that?" I'd be like, "Yeah." If somebody's like, "You want to come over and watch Zombeavers?" I'd be like, "There's probably a lot of other things I would rather watch."
I think so. I'd like to hear a interview with the director on this, though.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Let's have him on the show.
I just want to see.
feel like he doesn't have a lot to do.
I just want to see. I just want to hear what his take is on this whole movie. I want to hear his ideas. I want to hear why he did what he did. Why he made this for me. Overall,
So Jordan Rubin, if you're one of our 100 listeners, please,
please come join us. I'd recommend people watch it. It's on Netflix. It's an hour and 16 minutes.
yeah. I mean, if you
You'll watch it
looking for time
once.
to kill,
If you have time to kill, for sure. It's an easy watch. I'll put it that way. But if you don't like a bad movie, don't watch it.
yeah.
If you can't handle that, if you can't handle sitting through shit for a little while and appreciating how bad it is,
Don't watch it.
go watch A Girl Walks Home Alone at Night.
I still haven't seen that.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
Have you seen What We Do in the Shadows?
Yes.
I'm behind.
So
this
good.
shit, man. I'm behind.
Oh, I've got a list. I've already got started for you to watch. But guys, that's the end of the show. I'd say this was only a minor failure, major failure. You tell us.
Our episode?
Yeah. I don't know. We were all over the place. When I don't have my notes,
Yeah.
things fall off the
When
rails.
things are left up to me.
I didn't see that outtake where she pulls out a dildo from the drawer.
Yeah, I saw that.
I don't know how I did it. Oh my gosh. This movie. The Zombeavers. Guys, thank you so much for listening. We really appreciate it. Hey, tell your friends. Odds are if you watch horror movies, you probably have some friends that watch horror movies. Let them know. Tell them on Instagram. Tell them on, what else do the
Twitter?
kids use? Twitter, Periscope. What's your Twitter name, Joe?
It's at Jovi421. Or you can follow me on Instagram at Boognish1985.
That's right. And you can follow me at I Hate Horror Show. Yes. At I Hate Horror Show. I think that's my Twitter name. Whatever.
Jesus Christ.
I'm also on Instagram at I Hate Horror, and you can find us at Facebook.com/I Hate Horror, Tumblr, all of the rest of that jazz. Hey, thanks for Harley Poe for letting us use the song Gorehound.
Yeah.
From Pagan Holiday. You can find them at harleypoe.com and Facebook.com/Harley Poe. Anything else? Oh, yeah. Rate, review, subscribe in iTunes. And
too busy looking at this fat
really
guy.
tell your friends.
Really
Dude, that sex scene with Zoe and her boyfriend is horrifying. Horrifying. Guys, thank you so much. Check out Zombeavers. Let us know what you thought about this episode. Unless you're negative, don't tell us if you're negative. Just stop listening. Don't leave us bad reviews either. We haven't gotten bad review, but leave us good reviews. And if you don't like us, just delete it from your iPhone. And guess what? We're gone forever.
Yeah.
You'll never have to hear us or probably see us again.
Fucking internet, man.
Unless you're our friends that hate us.
Yeah. Buzz Breadsticks, we're looking at you.
Buzz Breadsticks, you piece of shit. We're coming for you. I want to finish that. All right, guys. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. And we'll be back in a week or two and to discuss another amazing horror-related event. Thank you, guys. Adios.
Later.